Okay, Albert here with Ranger Joe.
Yes.
And his son, Nehemiah. You are with Ranger Joe's Pizza.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about Ranger Joe.
Well, Ranger Joe's is located in Kalispell, Montana, which is the northwest corner of Montana. And a town of about maybe 40,000 people. So it's a little smaller. Right outside National Park, or Glacier National Park, about 40 minutes.
Yep. How'd you get into pizza, Joe?
Well, my parents had pizza shops when I was a kid. They had 6 pizza shops. There was a chain style, but it was a very loose franchise at the time. So my dad had a lot of flexibility in how he would make his pizza. And just over time, they grew from 1, had about 6. I was in there every single day from 11 to about 19. And when I was young, I was like interested in playing video games more than making pizza. I would be begging for quarters. I just want a quarter. I want to play Pac-Man, Asteroids, you know. But as I got about 14, 15, I was inclimated a little bit more into the shop, making dough, making pizzas. And then 30 years goes by, not doing anything. They sold all their shops about 6, 7 years after maybe up close to 8 years. And then get out of it, and then I go 30 years, and then I got back into it the last 3 years.
How'd you get back into it?
Well, I started making pizza for family and friends. I wanted to like kind of bring up that recipe. I didn't want it to go away. Missed pizza. Started making New York style for my friends and family, and they loved it. They were like, "This is the best pizza we ever had in our life."
Wow.
And I was in law enforcement at the time, and I was thinking about retiring, so I left about 6 years early from law enforcement. And I was like, why don't we start a pizza shop? You know, it's a next step, I guess, in my career.
So the obvious question is Ranger Joe's. How did Ranger Joe come about?
Ranger Joe came about when we did a hike up in Glacier National Park at Kindle Lake. I had kind of like done some research and said mildly elevated. Good hike for my son, Nehemiah, my friends, my son-in-law, and nephews. So when we get there, it's more elevated than we thought. It's all grown over the path. My nephew almost broke his ankle. My buddy strap rubbed a sore in his side from his backpack. So it was kind of like a 2-day turnaround. You hike there and come back. But it was the hottest day of the year in July. Super hot, couldn't fish from the shore. It was kind of, not really a disaster, but it was kind of like more than everybody thought. Nobody had been on a hike more than maybe a mile. And it was 6.5 miles there, 6.5 miles back. So the next day when we got back, they promoted me to Ranger Joe because I was gun-ho, kept everybody, motivated. I was in the front the whole time. Ask this guy.
Yeah, he was.
I was like 49, and I was in the front the whole time. And I wanted, I didn't want to fail, but I also wanted to make sure we got through it. So they promoted me to Ranger Joe, and the name stuck.
Okay, well, but again, it turned into Ranger Joe's Pizza.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Nehemiah.
Yes, sir.
You're part of the pizza business as well.
I am.
And what do you do? Are you you make the dough, you make the pizza?
So I do a little bit of everything. Joe's kind of got me under him as like a, not an official manager, kind of like an assistant manager right now. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I do a little bit of scheduling. I do the food ordering. I make pizzas. We're making dough, sauce, customer service.
Yep.
A lot of I guess you could say manager positions and duties.
There's a lot more in the pizza business than just slinging dough.
There is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just the fun part.
Yeah, that's the easiest.
Oh yeah,
part.
there's a lot. He's a 3rd-generation pizza maker. I got my dad, Pat, myself, and then my sons are learning now. My other sons are involved too.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What makes Ranger Joe Pizza a little bit different?
Well, our sauce. It's all cooked in-house, made in-house, secret spices. We cook our sausage in-house, add our spices. We make our dough in-house, and we let it cold ferment in the walk-in for 2 to 3 days, sometimes 4. And we're making 3 different styles, which really nobody's doing in Montana.
Okay, what are they?
Sicilian, Detroit, and New York. We also have calzones, cheese breads, and don't forget about the mountain cinnamon sticks for dessert. Unbelievable.
Okay.
So yeah, we have those styles that really nobody's doing. Really, everybody's just doing the New York style out there. Yeah.
Okay.
And our dough is amazing too. It's soft, but yet crunchy on the outside. I made a pizza for the non-traditional division today, so we'll see how we do.
Good
But
luck.
yeah,
All right.
and you always got to remember, adventure's not complete without pizza.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, how can people find you? Where you're located online? You got a website?
We're located at Ranger Joe's Pizza with an S, rangerjoespizza.com. We have a Facebook at Ranger Joe's Pizza. We also have a Instagram at Ranger Joe's Pizza. And if you're ever in Montana, visiting the park or wherever you're going, you got to stop by Ranger Joe's. We'll take care of you. You're going to love the pizza.
Hey, Joe, thanks a lot. I appreciate taking the time.
You're welcome, buddy.